There is too much trash in Miami-Dade. That's why the county is looking for a new place to put it. And communities are up in arms saying, not in my backyard. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Chris Hush. You're watching the NBC6 special Waste War. Now, if you didn't already know, Florida is the incinerator capital of the country, with 10 of which are in operation. We have more than any other state. Now a battle is brewing on where to build Miami-Dade's new incinerator. So how did we get here? Let's take a look. February 12th, 2023. Smoke billows from Miami-Dade's waste-to-energy plant in Doral as a fire tears through the facility responsible for incinerating more than half of the county's household trash.
We have no access to get fire trucks or hose lines as a result of the warping metal.
The fire would burn for nearly 3 weeks as officials told Doral residents to limit outdoor activities, fearing exposure to toxins released by the fire.
As soon as we saw the fire and all the smoke, the cloud was really dark, totally black, so it was a scare.
The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency eventually placing air quality monitors around the site to measure potential air contaminants. Even before the fire was out, the quest to find a replacement began. After 40 years in Doral, Miami-Dade's mayor and commissioners started looking at several alternative sites on top of the current location in Doral. And on September 13th, Mayor Daniela Levine-Cava filed her recommendation to build the country's largest waste-to-energy plant at the Opa-locka West Airport site, less than 2 miles from Miramar residents in Broward County. That would ignite fierce pushback from residents. Miramar's mayor threatening to sue the county as concerns over pollution and harm to the Everglades mounted.
Our waters do not have municipal limits. Our health does not have municipal limits. Activities in Miami-Dade County doesn't just miraculously stop at the Broward County line.
Then on September 17th, a heated commission meeting led to the delay of the controversial vote as protesters packed commission chambers to capacity. Most of the commissioners agreeing they needed more time to consider a location. That vote now scheduled to take place in early November. With just days left until Miami-Dade's scheduled vote on the new incinerator site, let's look at what's on the table. There are 4 sites being proposed for the new incinerator. The current Doral location where the plant has sat in ruins since the fire, a site in Medley near Northwest 106th Street and Northwest 98th Court. Then there's a land swap deal with a developer that would allow the county to build it near West Okeechobee Road and Northwest 178th Street. Last but certainly not least, Mayor Daniela Levine-Cava's favorite, the closed Opa-locka West Airport site, which sits across from the Everglades and less than 2 miles from Broward County residents. So as you saw just a moment ago, these residents have major concerns when it comes to their health, concerns involving what will be emitted from the plant and how it will affect the fragile environment. We spoke to the chair of University of Miami's Department of Chemical, Environmental, and Materials Engineering to find out which concerns are valid.
It's legitimate to have concerns.
Meet University of Miami professor Cheng-Yu Wu. He tells us both sides of this issue have valid points.
What are some of the chemicals or pollutants emitted from these facilities?
Okay, it's possible if not captured, if there are no pollution control devices, then there will be particles, there will be mercury, there will be the dioxin, these toxic pollutants possible.
But when it comes to modern-day incinerators, these particles are captured before they're released.
You can use the activated carbon to absorb these pollutants.
On top of that, Professor Wu pushes back on the idea that nearby residents will be breathing in these pollutants, pointing up to the smokestacks.
The emissions, they are emitted at very high altitude compared, so it doesn't really get down to your community immediately.
And this is why he says communities farther away from the facility could face greater risks than nearby residents. Still, he cautions skepticism on the amount of toxins released with modern-day waste-to-energy plants, most of them meeting or exceeding EPA standards.
Technologies are there, available, to make it a clean facility, and the operation or maintenance may change that situation.
Would you feel comfortable living next to one of these modern day incinerators?
Yes, I myself feel comfortable if they are operated properly.
And with that said, we wanted to show you what it could be like living next to one of these incinerators. We recently got an exclusive tour of a waste-to-energy plant in West Palm Beach. At temperatures reaching 2,500 degrees, this is what it looks like when your trash is being turned into energy. Roughly 60 miles from Miami-Dade is the most modern waste-to-energy plant in the country, located on a 1,300-acre solid waste campus that sits next to a massive wildlife and water preserve. All right, so this is really the start of the entire process. What you're looking at here is roughly 13,000 tons of trash sitting in this pit waiting to be taken to the boiler. Large cranes operated by joysticks and buttons, taking it to be incinerated.
Carbon dioxide is emitted in the combustion process. There's no getting around that.
But Joe Kilsheimer with the Florida Waste to Energy Coalition says modern plants like this one have a massive filtration process to meet strict EPA standards. These massive machines are part of the air pollution control unit. Sensors monitor the emissions until it gets here, where enough energy is made to power nearly 90,000 homes, if you factor in both incinerators on the campus. The first was built in 1989 and the second, 2015.
This is the hottest part of the year, and it still ain't bad. Can you smell anything right? Nada.
David McCamish has lived in his house for 58 years, just a few miles from the plant. But his neighbor of 38 years has concerns after seeing what happened in Doral when the plant burned down in 2023.
And would it catch a fire, anything? I mean, would it blow off? I mean, like, their general concern.
Miami-Dade's new incinerator would be similar to Palm Beach's.
What do we want? We want clean air.
But Miramar residents promised to fight the plans to place it less than 2 miles from their homes.
Cigarettes were told to be safe. How many times do we have to go to a process?
The coalition pushing back, saying other options are either more toxic or unfeasible.
Zero waste is going to take an enormous amount of change in consumer behavior.
The Miami-Dade Commission now set to vote on the issue on November 6th. Zero waste. We've heard that idea from activists countless times here. But what is it? We travel to the only zero waste market in South Miami to find out.
So this is laundry detergent.
In South Miami, you'll find Verde Market, which is unlike any grocery store you've been to.
Instead of buying the bottle, you keep it and don't throw it away.
Co-founder Pam Barrera runs 2 of these markets in South Florida, trying to convince locals to adopt a zero-waste lifestyle. The store has everything from spices, oils, nut butter, kombucha, shampoo, lotion, and more. The difference...
So the story about is that you can bring your own containers and you can refill them.
It sounds like zero waste requires a change in behavior.
Yeah, but it's not that difficult. Let's start with one bottle. And I can tell you easily which one, the water bottle. Like, you can easily purchase a bottle of water and refill it 12 times a day.
Critics say it's unrealistic to expect society to adopt this lifestyle overnight. And the truth is, time is running out for Miami-Dade County. Since the fire, our waste has been diverted to the North and South Dade landfills. Household waste is trucked to one of 3 transfer stations in the county, where it is then trucked to the landfill. Mayor Cava has said this is not sustainable. Capacity at the North Dade landfill was already expected to be reached by 2026. The South Dade landfill is expected to reach capacity by 2030. And the diversion of trash has accelerated these timelines. How do you feel about the county's position on this waste-to-energy plan?
I hope they don't do it. It will be a huge mistake if they allow it.
Although this market has seemingly found a solution, at the end of the day, the problem persists in Miami-Dade County. Commissioners are set to vote on a new incinerator plant on November 6th. So, only time will tell what the future of waste will look like here in South Florida. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, take care.